everybody. My name is Phil Mershon, and I am with Return on Initiative. Today, we have a return guest, and I am so delighted that she came back. Yes, this is Ginny Schuster with the lovely background and the lovely foreground, for that matter. Say hi, Jenny.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Phil, for having me back. I want to build up a good reputation with you.
Well, likewise, I'm sure. Yeah, you're doing us the favor, and we certainly appreciate it. So, we're going to talk about LifeWave and GinnySchuster.com and other important matters. But I have to be honest, Jenny and I were talking a little bit before we started recording today. I don't remember how it came up. We were talking about this thing. Most people, you've probably never heard of this thing called Disney World, which is I don't know. So what Florida is it? It's
That's the one around Orlando.
It's Orlando. That's it. I never remember the name. I'm doing good to remember Disney World. And it turns out that I don't think it was on the same day, but Jenny and I were both there the same the year that they opened, which we're not going to tell you what year that was because it's really none of your business. Google it, look it up. But whatever year that was, as if we remember, Ginny was telling me this great story, which she's going to tell you now, and you're in for a treat here. You arrived in a very remarkable automobile that day in whatever year that was.
I did. And I was so proud of it because for me, it was a lot of money. It cost me $600 to buy this 1964 Volkswagen convertible. It was in mint condition.
Wow.
I thought that I was not going to have any more money because what was important to me in those days was to be able to travel. And I had moved down from Boston, Massachusetts, where they had an MTA. They had the transit system. I never thought of that when I moved to Miami. I thought, wow, life is going to be really cheap for me because I can get around, I'm sure. I had done a little bit of thumbing to get to wherever I wanted in Boston. What happened was Miami did not have a transit system. So I had to come up with some money to buy a car. And I bought that convertible, blue Volkswagen convertible, the little Beetle.
The Beetle, yeah, the bug.
Yeah. And I had so much fun with it. I lived at a fun complex there. All we did was every single weekend, everybody partied. They had, I think it was the managers who were always putting out food for us. We just had to supply the beer or, something to drink, whether it was water or Coke or, and back in those days, the water came out of the tap just fine.
Sure.
And anyway, I just absolutely loved it. And yes, that little Beetle ended up taking me up to opening day of Disney World.
Wow. Now, were you the only person there?
Absolutely not. It was completely lined up. They had been doing advertising about opening day and everybody wanted to be there. So I took some of my friends, we drove up, and from Miami, it was about a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Now you're all driving in the Volkswagen.
Yep. I was the driver.
So how many people did you squeeze into that?
Oh, not as many as they do in the circus these days. But it was tons of fun. And we were talking about the memories you had. One of the memories I had was going into the bar saloon that had the mirrors. So if you looked at it at a certain angle, and you probably remember the name of it, you could see yourself going on for miles, the way they had the mirrors lined up.
Yeah. Wow. No, I don't remember the name of it, but it'll probably come to me in a little bit. That's isn't that funny? You never know. I mean, seriously, that's been since their opening day. That's been what, more than a decade. That's been more than 10 years ago.
Yeah. And back when I went, one of the things that we did was the people that I worked with, all met there because they had a campground.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the campground. Yeah, what was that like?
Well, my story about that was my girlfriend and college roommate came down to visit me. I didn't know that sleeping bags in those days had the filling part here, which was the part that you're to sleep on, and then separated was the canvas part. She was complaining about how hard the rocks were, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, she is so prim and proper. She only likes hotels. She doesn't like camping. And I'm going to insist that she likes camping. So I poo pooed it. In the morning, when we woke up, I realized that she was sleeping between the canvas. The canvas was on the ground and the rocks. And she had the part that was the cushion and the warmth that she was supposed to sleep between. Everything else was above her. And I felt so bad. And I don't think she ever did camping again.
She probably did she go into government work after that? Was that
Probably.
wow.
She didn't believe a thing that I said after that.
So that was a while back, and you've been busy since then.
A little learning that I need to communicate better. And when somebody has a complaint, that I better listen to what they're talking about.
Well, that's an option
That's
you
my
have,
first lesson.
So, um, so you got married.
I did. Yep. Yep. I met a guy down there, and I decided I didn't want to be married down there. So I said, time for me to stop partying and go to another town that's got parties and meet new people.
What? I never knew until very recently, and it's funny the things that you learn on these shows. Just how what a wild person you are.
No, I'm very straight laced.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I never disagree with a guest. Yeah, straight lace, cool.
That's right. Yep. The guest is always right.
So did you?
Just the way the customer is always
The way
right.
the customer has been known to be right. Yeah. So there was this event recently, a couple days ago, as we record this. It was a game of some sort. Football, was it? Was it football? Yeah.
Oh, maybe the Super Bowl?
No, I don't think. Yeah, that was it. Super Bowl. Yes. Yes. Did you some people, get together and celebrate and do things that they forget by the next day? Did you
I was one of those.
was that you? What tell us what
I
tell us.
do remember where I was, and I remember there were quite a few people there. The only issue I had was somehow drinks kept getting in front of me. And every time it was something different. Oh, try this, try that. So that's sort of how my life is. People get me to try different things.
Well, well, it's good to be open-minded about these kind of things, and not say, oh no, I wouldn't have that near me. It's good to be, open. And I think one of the things that you were open to maybe sometime between Orlando and today was LifeWave.
LifeWave.
And
Absolutely love LifeWave.
it sounds like maybe their detox thing is going to be something in your future now. Is that
That could be. I think that I love the fact that I have boost of vitality and energy, and I'm always ready to go. I'm always open to checking out new things that people say, check this out, check that out.
I have this
Right there.
idea about, when speak Disney World, for example, and Miami and having a celebratory youth. And, you slam several Jägermeisters and you wake up the next day and you're like, hey, I'm ready. Nothing. Let's do it again. Come on, let's go. Whereas, then you fast forward a decade or two or three and, you sip a beer the night before and you wake up the next day and you're like, I don't really think I could make it into the office today. A little bit too much last night.
That may be a good day for a little LifeWave, don't you think?
I was going to say, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Let's do the LifeWave.
Tell us about the LifeWave.
The LifeWave. The LifeWave is a patch, and it's non-transdermal. So it ends up, what I love about it is it's basically like a little Band-Aid. It's got clear around the edge, and then the middle part is what has amino acids. So people who have allergies, they don't have to worry about something going into their body and mysteriously working on ailments or things that bother them, such as for myself. One of the big things I've had to deal with is my neck. I can now look left and right without hearing that. I call it the popcorn sound or Rice Krispie, where you add milk and you'd hear pop, 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 that sort of thing.
I used to be able to actually make that sound on cue, but with this, but
and then the shoulders go up, down. All right, let's do our exercise, left, right.
Yep, you've been there.
And I think that could be part of the reason why the cars now have that reverse mirror image in the cars, because a lot of people have trouble looking left and right and behind them. So now they can look at the dash and see the screen showing the reverse cameras when they back up their car.
Oh, that's a thought. That's a good point. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. That way, you can be 110 years old and still tune along and be doing just fine.
That's
where I'm from, Phoenix, there's a segment of the town where called Sun City, which typically, has seniors, living there. And there's a rule basically that only apparently applies to people over a certain age, and that is that when you're backing your car up, it's okay to keep going until you crash into something. It's specific to that area, but I
hear someone go, ow, ow, ow.
I hear it's catching on. I didn't mean to interrupt you though. Go, please continue with the benefits of LifeWave, please.
And the benefits of living in Sun City. Or did you say Sin City? No, one of those.
One of those.
Well, right now I'm down in Florida, and I'm near this place called the Villages, which I think is known around the country for being the hot spot for 55 and older.
It's the fastest growing community in the United States right now.
That's what I hear. And it's covering, what is it? Our nephew told us about 4 counties already.
Wow. 4
it's
counties?
It's divided into different sections. And in those sections, they all have a town center where they have a series of restaurants all around it. And at night, every night of the week, they have a band. And these people, we went over there to check it out. And these people, I have to say, they don't need the LifeWave, because the energy that I saw coming out of those people was unbelievable. They were doing the 2-step, they were hopping around, they put down their canes and their walkers, and you talk about vitality, maybe they're on LifeWave.
I was going to say, they might be, and they probably don't want anybody to know.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no. We discovered this stuff and it's our little secret. It's in the water. Get out of here.
That's right. And over there, they do not have car races. They use their golf carts. And these golf carts are all decked out. I'm sure it's so that they know whose is whose. Some have red lights, some have blinking lights, some have lights on their golf clubs. There, some are on the top. Sometimes it gets cold here, so they've got those plastic covers in case it rains, and they're well protected. I
This is
haven't
very
gotten to
embarrassing.
talk with them very well.
My father lived in Sun City, and he he bought a golf cart for $50. It was
Ooh,
used, obviously, and
yeah.
he fixed it up. My dad could do anything. I did not inherit any of his mechanical abilities, but he could fix anything up, and he did. And he painted it white and yellow, and he wrote it.
Ooh.
He got my mom to stitch something, and he put on the back that said "Old Yeller,"
Oh.
and he used to drive
It
that
didn't
thing up
say
and
taxi. Oh, that would be yellow and black.
yellow and black. Yeah. So he was quite demented, and he would drive that thing up and down the street, and he wouldn't. The thing about in Sun City, and maybe this is true in the Miami area too, I don't know, but he would, and certainly I bet it's true in the villages, he wouldn't go off to the side of the road where you might expect a slower moving vehicle to be. Nope. He had a license tag on the back of that sucker, and he took his half out in the middle. And you'd have traffic backed up, people blowing their horns, and he's like,
And this was before bike lanes, right?
this was this would have been in the late 1990s probably.
Okay. Yeah, definitely before then.
And it was battery operated, and one day the battery conked out, didn't have enough juice, and he's got a line of like 20 cars behind him. And he came home, he looked a little ragged, and it's like, Dad, what happened? Well, if you're gonna tick some people off in this town, you better make sure that you got a backup. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that story, but
No, I think we should talk a little bit more about it, because as you tell the story, it makes me think about what happened to us.
Hmm.
Well, we have a Sequoia, and that's a pretty big
Oh
vehicle.
yeah, that blots out the
Yeah.
sky.
Yeah. So here's this big Sequoia, and here's the golf cart. Well, there was a parking spot that we wanted, and it was right to the right of where this golf cart was. And we put our blinker on, and that golf cart did not care. He was waiting for somebody, and he was going to be damned if this Sequoia was going to intimidate him. He stayed right there until somehow a smaller car behind us was able to scoot into that parking spot and show us.
Oh wow,
It's
that is
it's
funny.
the competition of the golf carts versus the cars.
That is incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a connection somewhere between these admittedly hilarious stories that we're telling and LifeWave, and we've got about 60 seconds left to talk about that. So
Yeah.
if you could
Well, I would love it if people would go to my website. It's called, and let me get it right, it's the GinnySchuster.com, that tells you everything about LifeWave. It goes into detail with, I've got testimonials on there. I have the owner talking, Dr. Schmidt, about how it's FDA approved. He's got over 130 patents, how he got into it. It's got doctors, chiropractors talking about how it's benefited not only themselves, but their customers, so that they come back fewer times for the maintenance. And it's hard to believe that a little Band-Aid like this, that can be put on the back of your neck or just below your belly button, which are the two main cores of your body, to streamline the light into your body to help repair your stem cell activity. And as we get older, I think one of the things that I mentioned the last time was by age 30, we've lost 50% of our stem cell activity. And stem cell sounds mysterious. And yet when you think of it as your DNA and, as you get older, you don't have the muscles, you notice aches and pains, you have trouble sleeping. Sometimes you wake up with brain fog. Sometimes it takes you a while to get motivated. These stem cell patches actually help with repairing that, so that you can take off first thing in the morning and get going. It just really boosts your vitality, helps to get rid of those aches and pains and help you sleep better. I'm a huge believer in it. And as I said, it's kind of hard to believe that something as small as non-invasive can work that way, work on your body. And we all know that you have, if you're seen at night, you have the infrared. You can see the red in your body. And that's what these Band-Aids use to repair your body, your stem cell activity.
It would behoove everybody to check out your website at www.ginnyschuster.com. I've got to ask you, and we talked about this last time, but behind you there, that's a real thing. That is a mural. And can you tell the story of that?
Oh, I would love to, because when it's snowing in Colorado where we live, I just turn my office chair to my left and I look at this beautiful mural that our son's friend, who is an artist, well-known artist in the Denver area, created for us. It took him about 3 days to do it. And I absolutely love the little path going up to the gazebo in the background. I love the colors there. And when you're needing to get uplifted, this mural does it for me.
Wow. I can understand why. Ginny Schuster, you are phenomenal. And we're so very lucky to be able to call you friend. And we hope you'll come back and see us again.
Love it. I would absolutely love to. I enjoy chatting with you. We always get a little bit sidetracked on some of these fun topics.
Yeah, it's been known to happen.
Yeah.
Ginny, thank you very much. And we will see you again soon. That's GinnySchuster.com, LifeWave.
Thank you, Phil. We'll talk to you again soon.